Hi, I'm DEBI MAZAR, and I'm really excited for you to see me have a conversation with Kara on Really Famous, talking all things Tuscan, COVID, abroad, food, love, film, and younger TV.
Hi, I'm Kara. You're watching Really Famous, where you really get to know your favorite celebrities. Right now, you're going to get to know DEBI Mazar on a totally different level, I think. Very personal. She talks about her new move to Italy, why she moved from New York to Italy, what it took to film the latest season of Younger, which just dropped on Paramount Plus, and some major changes thanks to COVID. Let's do it.
I just came back from New York, where I spent 5 months filming during COVID a non-COVID show. So like we don't
Yeah.
we don't use masks in the show. So like we had I was tested 69 times PCR up the nose, plus multiple rapids. I was contact traced once, had a quarantine. I've done 6 quarantines already since last March of 2020. Six.
So that's
And
like actually 12 weeks. That's like 3 months.
that is 3 months. Yeah. I mean, insane because, like, now your quarantines are less because they've figured some stuff out. But I have to say, I don't mind quarantine because I take the time to read, to watch stuff. And this particular quarantine time, well, right now Italy's in a lockdown, but I'm using it to unpack my house. So what happened was, since we last talked, I got COVID in March of 2020. That was hideous. And no one knew anything about it. They didn't know about losing taste or smell. Like it was really like early on. I'm glad I got it on and over with. I survived it, even though I had it pretty bad. And I during that period, we were like everybody else, spending a lot of time at home. I mean, only time at home, and just kind of like things started shifting in terms of like, what do you want out of life? What are we doing? Spending a lot of time with the family, and we had always said, uh, one day we will move to Italy because why not, right? I mean, my husband moved from Italy to Los Angeles. We had 2 children. Then we moved to New York and raised the kids in New York. And then after a decade, one kid went off to college. Well, she really didn't. She went to college, but it's virtual. But she went off to the dorm in Buffalo.
So she started this year,
Yeah,
2020.
2020, well, 2021. So
Yeah.
she's class of 2020. No graduation, no prom, no sex. I mean, like, for kids at that age, it's intense. She graduated from Murrow, so I was able to get Darren Aronofsky, Marissa Tomei, Rosie Perez. Like some of them are alumni, to do a messaging to the kids. So like because everybody tried to make this like virtual ceremony like something so the kids would like feel like they had something.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like a prom or going to get drunk or whatever. Whatever the kids do. Like they just couldn't replace that. And my daughter had to quit her job once I got COVID. She was working at the grocery store as a checkout girl. She was really proud to be helping during the pandemic in terms of like being of service to people. I'm like, look, I'm sorry, but like you've been exposed to COVID and you can't go to work anymore.
Yeah.
At least not now. And then she never went back. But in any case, so yeah, we just decided to move during the pandemic, not because of the pandemic. It was just like, all right, like she's going to college in September. I'm going back to work, God knows when they pick the show back up. And the other one's going into a new school regardless. She's going into high school. So this seems to be like the perfect time. Plus, I'm in my 50s and I just felt like in life, I just wanted a new journey, something that felt fresh, something that made me not be lazy. Like here, I'm getting a little two-door Cinquecento. I'm going to be zipping into Florence on my own, discovering ancient stuff along the way and seeing beautiful things, making new friends, looking at history, looking up all the time and seeing, cool stuff and questioning stuff. Maybe I'll start getting into fabric or textile design or clothes or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll be a florist. I have no idea. There's so many things going on here that make me really excited. And and I feel kind of lonely because I don't hear like the train rumbling underneath the house. I don't see my New York friends. I don't hear sirens. It's just so different than New York, but New York's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I've always left and I always go back. So I just feel like why not like have some fun? So we've always had a home here, but it was like the little crappy house that the family gave us, like in the field that was like needed like all this renovations, and it was completely like super old but super broken down. And I was kind of like never wanting to live in that house. He was like, "Oh, we'll go back to the pink Casa Rosa." I'm like, no. And then his father passed away a couple of years ago in an a motorcycle accident. And the mother, after a few years, was like, you know what, guys, this house is too big for me. Why don't I take the apartment that's connected to the end of the house? It's completely cut off, so it's not like she's like passing through. And you guys take the big house. And her house is like really cool. It's super rustic. It's not fancy. It's like, like wood beams and terracotta, nothing. It's like a farmhouse. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do it. I think I can do it because when you're in Florence, you're only it's like about 15 minutes to drive into the center. In the center, you're right at the train station, and it takes an hour to get to Rome. 2 hours to go here, 2 hours to go there. Sicily's not, it's like you could be anywhere so fast. The airport, you could be in Paris in an hour, London, Spain, Portugal. And I'm like, and I've been working over here in Europe, and I really, when I did Arte Madrid, this Spanish series, which is on MHZ Choice, which I had never heard of, but MHZ Choice picked it up, and I think that's available through Netflix, not Netflix. What's the other one? Amazon Prime, just so people can find it.
Okay.
One of my greatest experiences shooting in Spain, playing Ava Gardner, 1950s. I think I sent it to you, didn't I?
Sent me what?
The series.
No.
It's a mini series. It's 8 episodes. In fact,
Okay.
we won every award in Spain, in London, and we got picked up for a second season. And then the couple that wrote and directed it broke up, and they're like, you know what, we can't work together. This is like destroying our relationship. So it ended perfectly, and I want you to see it. And I want anybody who's listening to this. It's
Send it
called
to me.
Arde Madrid, which means Madrid is burning, and it's shot in black and white, 1961. It follows Ava Gardner living in Madrid, which she really did, but it's about the people that work for her and live in her house. It's hysterical. It's sexy. And I'm really proud of my work because I had to learn Castilian Spanish, habitación, a lot of the. It totally screwed up my Italian because now I mix Spanish and Italian.
Yeah.
And now I'm back in school for Italian only because obviously I need to like learn it fluently. I've always kind of like, kind of threw in a few words here and there. I've
Winged
managed to
it.
get by. And now everyone's like, no, 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 no. And I have to take the driving test. The driving test is only available in Italian, and it's very hard, they say. Even Italians say it's hard. So I've got, 2 years to work that out.
Oh, wait, but
But
hold on, back up. There are so many things I need to ask you about. You went from one topic to there's so
I know
many
I
interesting
jump,
things.
I jump. Yeah, you got to.
But I have to stop you for a bunch of them because I'm interested in a lot of them. So, number one, all right, so many. So, I hear what you're saying with the Spanish mixing in with the Italian because I watch a lot of Italian TV. We talked about it recently,
Yeah.
Gomorrah, but we can talk about that later because I'm obsessed and everybody who watches the show knows or listens to the show knows. I talk about it all the time. We'll talk about it, but I've been practicing Italian with my little app, my Rosetta Stone app. And I
Oh.
know that sometimes when I am watching a lot of Spanish shows, then
Mhm.
it's like it all gets mixed in together.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel you. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
You said you're
I was
studying.
I have a teacher. I mean, I used to go to school. I went to a language school, ABC Languages. The school closed during COVID. So we just do it online. So I study 3 times a week online, and then and I have about 20 more sessions left. I also use an app called Duolingo on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of good just to kind of keep yourself practiced, and just like, to just keep your brain elastic, and also like you're reading and writing it
Yeah.
aside from like, I mean, it's kind of easy Duolingo, but 'cause I have a huge vocabulary, but verb conjugation is my issue in past tense, future tense, and Italian's really complicated. I watched also a lot of Spanish shows prior to filming,
Mm-hmm.
just to get the accent and the rhythm, and they're so good. I mean, aside from Pedro Almodovar, who we all like love, I discovered so many great TV shows, and they're so campy and sexy, and the use of color and the art direction is just fantastic. And then the Italians are more kind of uh, like they go. I mean, the beauty, the emotion. But a lot of them have a little bit of that 80s feel. Like
Uh-huh.
there's something about Italy where they're a little bit stuck in a certain place. But I don't,
Totally. Like the
I,
clothing.
yeah, I don't exactly, but I don't mind it. I mean, I think that show actually, the real story took place closer to the 80s and 90s. So it does have an element of a little bit of a throwback because I read the book because I lived in Italy, not lived, but I was coming to Italy forever. And I had read the book by Robert Saviano. They sold it in an English version,
Mhm.
and then the movie came out of the book, which is different than the series. Whoa! When I saw the series, I was addicted from the very beginning. I mean, obviously, I had to wait for the translation, so my husband was able to bootleg it off of, I think, I don't know how, but he bootlegged it, and I saw it like early on, and now like I'm all caught up. I watched it again on my quarantine in New York. I had one of my many quarantines. I was like, let me rewatch this series because I'm so focused. In the Neapolitan dialect I don't understand always, so like I have to really pay attention
Mhm.
to the subtitles. And sometimes when you're paying attention to the subtitles, you miss
Yeah.
what's happening in the scene. So seeing it again was fantastic. What great actors are in it. I just, obviously
Oh.
Salvatore Esposito is fantastic, but and we actually became friends off of Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, you're in New York, you gotta come see me. He's like, oh no, I'm there at different dates than you are. And then every time I'm in Naples, which is kind of often, I go to Naples a lot. He's never there. He's always filming something in the United States. So our paths haven't crossed yet. I'm looking forward to meeting him. But some of the actresses,
He's
the actors,
so great in real life. Let me just tell you, because he was on my show recently.
totally.
Loved him.
Yeah, I bet.
Seriously, one of my favorite like people. Such a
How's
great
he, how's his
guy.
English?
So good. I was shocked when I booked the interview with him. I did not even really know if he knew much English. Like I looked at his social media a little bit, and I saw there were a few English
Yeah.
posts somewhat, and I thought, okay, maybe he knows a little bit, but I'm going to be very, slow because I'm a fast talker. But I'm like, I'm going to slow down my pace a little, and I'll be, as gentle on him as I can be. But his English was fabulous.
Oh,
It
that's
was,
great. Well, Italians, they study, they have to take it in school, but I was,
yeah.
and he also did a series in Chicago for a while.
Fargo. Fargo.
Fargo, which I'm waiting to see. I don't think it's come out yet, has
It
it?
did. Yeah, it was out. I think it came out. It came out during the quarantine, during COVID. I think it's season 4. Chris
Okay,
Rock is in it. Jason
wow,
Schwartzman. Yeah. So that's already out. You can see him, and he had a very memorable role there too.
great.
So
Don't tell me, don't tell me.
I won't.
Uh, 'Cause I want to see it. He's so good. But anyway, what was your question again?
Oh no, I don't think it was a question. I was just we were talking about Gomorrah, and I think you were saying, right, you
Oh, that
caught
is,
so much more the second time. I'm in the middle of rewatching it too because in the US we don't have season 4 yet. So I'm only through the end of season 3. So I'm like, while I wait, I'm just gonna go back to season 1 because it's been
wait, you can
years.
see
It took so
season four
long.
somewhere because the five is the final season,
Yeah.
and I saw season four. I was able to find it, and I think it's on HBO Max or whatever it's called.
It is, but it's not. HBO Max hasn't released season 4 yet. They just released season 3 in January. And I keep talking to my rep there and checking in with him, my contact there at HBO Max. I'm like, is there a date yet? And L'Immortale is going to be on HBO Max too. What?
Yeah, that I know, but
Yeah.
guess what? I don't get it here. I'm like gagging. I don't get HBO Max in Europe, so
Oh, okay.
I have
So where do you
I only
watch
got
it?
on Sky. Well, I've always watched it in Italy. My husband is like, good at bootlegging. I probably shouldn't say that, but he would bootleg, and maybe that's where I saw season four. I'm not sure how I saw season four, but
Maybe
I saw it because now I'm waiting.
for
Like,
5.
I'm waiting for five, and that's the final one. And I am not going to tell you what happens in the end of
Don't
four.
tell me.
I would not tell you. It's mind blowing.
Okay, I have to tell you that in my talk with Salvatore, I told him it was ruined for me. Season 3 was ruined for me because I went to Napoli on vacation and I'm in this store and my husband is trying on clothes in the dressing room and the woman who works there, she and I just start talking and I'm like, oh, so do you watch Gomorrah? And of course, the first thing she said was what happened in season 3. You know what I'm talking about. It was a big, big thing, right? Season 3, do you remember? I don't want to put the spoiler alert here because I don't want to say it flat out. I will if I have to. You know what? I'm just going to cut this part. I'm going to just cut this out of the interview. She said, oh yeah, Chiro's gone. And I was like, what? You did not just say that. She
Wow.
said it, and then I had only been done with season 2, so I was devastated that I knew. And then,
Goes though is pretty intense. So for you to see the scene, you would I would have never imagined that's how he went.
of course not, but I was so stressed out the whole season. Like every episode, I kept thinking to myself, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And I was like, it was such a stressful season watching it, and then it happened and I was devastated. So I don't want to know anything about 4, but I know that it blows me away. I'm like,
Actually, you
this
know
is
what?
crazy.
The way that I saw 4 is my husband got it here
Yeah.
because it's on in London on Sky. So he was able to get it from
English.
Sky, and I watched it in like 2 days.
Right. So you got the subtitles in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I might need to watch the last episode again. It was that good.
That good. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to know. Don't tell me anything. I'm dying.
I'm not telling you anything.
Okay. You moved to Italy basically, and it's Fiesole, right? Can I say that? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's okay for me to say it publicly?
Yeah.
Or did you get vaccinated yet?
Yeah, I'm vaccinated.
So you're fully vaxxed.
Vaccinated, fully vaxxed, Pfizer. I was like, you know what? Let me get vaccinated before I go back. And I managed to get on a line. I waited 5 hours in the freezing cold. I thought I was going to lose my toes. And they were like, go home is not enough. Go home. And I was like, not going home. I'm going to wait it out. And so many people couldn't like stand on the line that long because it was like truly freezing. I didn't drink any water. I didn't have coffee that morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to pee. I don't know how long I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
5 hours, I made it. And I got the first vaccine. And then there was such an overwhelming response to this place because you didn't need an appointment that they shut it down after the first day. So you can only go back for a second vax because, they realize that you have to have appointments.
Right. So the same people went back 3 weeks later then, I guess.
Yeah, I saw a few of them that I noticed from the lines. When you're standing there, you're listening to people's conversations, you're checking out what they're wearing and what shoes, whatever, out of boredom. I was like, I'm really glad I did because I got so sick that I was really scared to come back to Italy because Italy has no rollout, basically. It's like they're still vaccinating 60 years old to 80-year-olds will be completed by July.
July. What?
Yes. And that's AstraZeneca too. And so I'm hoping that maybe Pfizer and Moderna will be also over here at some point, just because I need my husband to get vaccinated. Right. We have the variants here, obviously. I mean, they're everywhere. And I don't know that I foresee things getting much better because the country here isn't getting vaccinated quick enough to have herd immunity that would solve the issue this particular year.
Right. It's bad. So do you feel like it's all around you? I mean, do you get that sense that a lot of people are still testing positive and passing it around?
Oh, yeah, but I also got that feeling in New York as well, because you have so many people who are anti-vax who just didn't get the vax yet.
Yeah, that freaks me out though that it's still so slow in Europe because I feel like it's getting looking so positive here finally.
Well, right now, if we get my husband gets in the car, it can only be one person to go to the grocery store or to the pharmacy. If you go into Florence, which is literally 10 minutes from me, the carabinieri are stopping people and asking you, "Where's your papers? Where are you going? Why are you going there?" Oh, well, I need to go get dog food. Well, can't you get dog food like at the local grocery store? Well, no, my dog is old and sick. Well, okay, fine, go. Um, you can go to a pharmacy in Florence with paperwork, but you have to have a paperwork, and they call the pharmacy and they do a prescription for Debbie Mazar there or whatever. Like they call where you're going. Oh, do you have an appointment with the doctor? Let me see. What's that?
The who calls the Carabinieri? Is
Carabinieri
that
calls the place that you're going to. They are no joke, and if you get fined, it's $1,000 per person in the car. €1,000. So it's no joke. The streets are empty because we're on lockdown. I'm like, can I come to the grocery store with you, please? And I'm like, it's only one person per household. So I pretend that we go to the grocery store together, and we pretend that we don't know each other, and then we cruise each other in the aisles, and then we meet up with each other at the cashier, and then walk out talking. So, and then if they bust us, we'll be like, "Oh, I live in like the same villa or the same apartment as him, and I don't drive. Americana, scusa." And so he offered to give me a ride. We have a whole thing planned out. I'm vaccinated, so I kind of feel like, please let me go to the store.
yeah.
I need to like look at products or vegetables or anything to feel like I'm getting out and doing something. And I love going to the grocery store here because they have every product and lotions and hairsprays and just they have everything. Things for plants, things for the house, different cleaning products, and like you're looking at it like, oh, this is not like Tide. So what is this like going on with this stuff? And they all smell so perfumey, and I just I love it. Um,
Yeah, those are good simple pleasures.
yeah,
Simple
those are like my
pleasures.
yeah. Or we go I'm like, can I go to the pharmacy? He's like, well, what do you need? I don't know. When I flew back from New York, I had to fly to Milan because the Florence airport was shut down for renovations. They figured since no one's coming here, they was gonna fix the runway and do some
That
stuff.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. And I got out of the airport. There was like nobody in customs. I had 9 pieces of luggage. 9. Nobody was checking my bags. I don't normally travel that heavily, but it was like the wrap up of season 7. It was winter. I had boots and stuff, and I had to bring some other crap that I left behind home
Yeah.
still. No one stopped me in the airport. No one checked anything. I had a porter, but it pre-organized. Got my stuff off the thing, the rack, boom on the cart, boom into the car. The car normally takes 3 hours or 3.5. I got home in like 2 or 2.5 hours. Highways, like, no one on the highway. Whoosh. It was incredible. And now, I don't go anywhere. I'm in the country, like sitting here in Florence, but it's kind of good for me. I'm looking around going, where am I going to hang this picture? Or how am I going to build something? Or where do these clothes go? I have to build, I have no closets. They had armadios. And we have like these like old grandma armadios here that are like my
What I don't
mother.
know what that is. What is that?
Armadios like the big wooden closets.
Oh, like an armoire, right.
An armoire.
Yeah,
Yeah, an
yeah.
arm. Sorry. And yeah, and so I want to build like a not like California closets, but like a version of that. So it's just like racks and drawers when you put your crap. Because I have been saving stuff for my teenage daughters who are starting to kind of fall in love with some of my things. And I totally like want to off shit on them because my one daughter is 5'10", the 14 year, no, she's 15 now, 5'10", like long skinny legs, and she looks amazing in my old clothes that are like a size 2,
I
which I
bet.
don't
Yeah.
save them, and like I just put these like wonderful 1960s cocktail dresses on her the other day. I'm like, that is chic. And she's like, I look like I'm going to a funeral. I said, no, you don't. You look very chic. It's very Audrey Hepburn. Who's Audrey Hepburn?
Oh,
Okay, anyway. So cute. I mean, at
but
the
you
same
had
time,
such good clothes. I remember all your clothes. You gave me a tour of your closet one day. I think we were working on a piece. I was writing a piece for the Hollywood Reporter, and you took me through all of your
oh yeah.
clothes, your
They,
dresses,
yeah, I have a lot
vintage.
of modern, but I collect them all over the world. So I have like, Spanish fans and accessories and things that are just like flea market stuff or whatever. I could open a store, quite frankly. I got rid of a lot of stuff before I left. It was very cathartic during the lockdown of 2020 to just like go through my house and start going like, why am I saving this stuff in my file cabinet on like old paperwork that I don't need? That's not important. Like, why am I saving all this stuff? I realized I was somewhat of a hoarder. Like I like, I like to have extra toothpaste or extra things around just in case. And we got to Italy. I had like, 4 tubes of Crest Max Strip, like Advil, like 5 bottles of Advil, toothbrushes. But it's kind of good because when you get like hooked on certain things that you like here the toothpaste doesn't taste as minty or foamy or something. So it's just like those little things. But I'm like I have 100, 200 lipsticks, and half of them are like they smell like old crayons. It's like I smell them, I'm like, oh, old crayon, gotta go. It's probably discontinued and
Yeah.
15 years old. Like, why am I saving old lipstick? And who needs that much lipstick? You know,
Yeah.
I wear like 2 colors. That's it. Red or like a pinky nude. That's it.
Yes. No, I hear you, but a purge is amazing. I love to do that. I love to get rid of things.
Me too. But my problem is I don't have any friends
Oh, to
here.
give
Like
everything to?
I have like 2 friends. So I'm looking forward to the lockdown being over because there's even like a school community where at least like they would get the parents together outside for a glass of prosecco where you get to like meet the other parents, which just seems like something that only like you do when your kids are young. But I'm like, I can't wait to meet anybody. I'm like, I'm hungry because I'm like such a person who's social, and I just want to go to like a cocktail party or a dinner party or just sit around and go visit somebody's house. I haven't done that since I've came back from New York, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm kind of planning my outfit already.
Right, right, right. So what's your outfit? What do you have?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I literally went down to the basement today and took out dresses that were too small on me before I left Italy. And when I was in New York, I worked out and made myself like salad and salmon and all through I was living in a bubble, the COVID bubble. So it was like I was working, doing cardio. I stopped drinking red wine. I went to like, like a little tequila, and I lost 25 pounds.
that's
So
a lot.
it's a lot. And it was necessary. I think like hormonally my body was retaining stuff, but I feel really good and I'm starting to fit in my clothes. So I'm like going into my closet going like, oh, I get to get into this dress again. So that's exciting, and I just kind of feel like it's a new me. It's Debbie wearing like clothes she couldn't wear before, living in a new country, in a new house with all this possibility. And I just have to try to stick to cooking my food instead of eating my husband's food all the time because he doesn't gain a pound.
Right. He's so thin. He's like thin as a rail, right? Naturally.
Well, he's thin, but he's buff, but he's thin,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
is my younger daughter. Like they're both like tall, really long, and really thin, and they can eat like cake, and it's just like they get thinner
Right.
somehow.
So the
Not
so the new you in Italy, like I feel you. I think it's a transformation, but it's also getting back in touch with you. I think what is the essence of you anyway?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was in New York, I because of being a famous New Yorker, I was doing all these like, PSAs and being there for people who needed it, whatever, because I'm a New Yorker, and I was even a voice on the MTA. Like it doesn't
You
get
were?
more. yeah. Like New York Nico is a great guy, Nico, and he asked me and a bunch of other people. You should follow him on Instagram. He's fantastic, but
Who
he's
is he?
kind of
What's
like
his name?
New York Nico.
New York Nico.
And Nico is like a New York City guy who basically is super smart, and he's kind of like the new saint of, like, I want him for mayor. He does more things for the community of New York City than any politician I've ever met. I haven't met any of the politicians actually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's and so I was very involved in like being New York centric on this trip. I think, especially since I was feeling kind of almost guilty about leaving, as if New York is my lover and I owe like New York an explanation on where I'm going. Like my friends were even guilting me, like, I can't believe you're leaving. Like, wow, you're gonna be so bored in the country. I'm like, not really. Like, I don't really want to go to like events. I never went to like I mean, I've been to one a million years ago, like a Met Gala, but like there aren't any movie premieres. There aren't any things to go to. And I know that things are opening back up, but I didn't like going to many of those things to begin with. And now I don't have to. It's not that I don't like people, but I don't like that part of the business. Kind of, I'd rather like go to an outing where I see friends
Yeah.
that aren't interested in being so schmoozy. And there's nothing wrong with being schmoozy. I just find that a lot of that stuff just doesn't excite me anymore. So I just needed new horizons. And New York also changed. Like New York is ever changing, and it's a great place for young people. New York is always going to become alive again because that's just what it does. It just goes through cycles. And I don't think that, New York is over in any way,
No.
shape, or form. In fact, I believe it will have another renaissance, quite frankly. You have people like Fran Lebowitz, for instance. She'll never leave. But I always left. I always left and I always come back. It's sort of like I'm having an affair,
Yeah.
not a
But you don't,
divorce.
right? But and you don't have to stay, and you can have an affair, but you can also live other places and have multiple whatever. I don't think you need to be. Plus, you have these other aspects of yourself that need to be,
Dead.
explored or whatever. And you always were talking about at some point moving to Italy. I feel like, weren't you? I feel like you
Yeah.
already. This
And
didn't
I'm
surprise
not
me.
attached to like having that thing where I need to go to the same store every day. I need to see the same friends all the time. Like my friends will come to me. I'll
Yeah.
come back to. I'm very much a loner in that way anyway. I've always like, kind of taken the adventure. I like spending time by myself a lot. I like to be like in a car alone. I like to go walking alone. I mean, not that I don't, nothing to do with my family, but I'm just saying like I could be anywhere, but sometimes I'm still alone and I like it. You know,
Yeah, I
it suits
totally
me.
get that.
Shopping alone. No one's bothering me. Hurry up. I gotta know. No, stop. Like when I go to flea markets, I hate going to flea markets with my husband. I'm like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. Thank God we have these phones. You call me if you need me. But like, I need to peruse, and I don't want to be rushed, and I don't want to get in a fight. So a lot of times I just do stuff on my own, and that's why I cannot wait to get a car. I was on the phone today looking at a Cinquecento.
So
So,
Cinquecento, that's 500, right? That means
yeah,
500. Is that a
yeah,
fiat?
yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but I think I'm gonna get the electric one because why not? Right? Like it came out, and I think it's I want to try to be conscious. Uh, I've been unconscious for a long time driving SUVs because I had kids or vintage cars. So I'm gonna give it a try.
I
You
think
know,
that's great. And I've always wanted a Fiat desperately, ever since probably the first time I went to Italy. And I'm like, I need a Fiat. And I remember for my 40th birthday, my husband was like, we should get you a Fiat. And I'm like, I can't have a Fiat here. Like, it just doesn't, I'm going to get pounded if I go on the highway, which I
yeah,
do. Like, I
yeah.
can't be driving a Fiat here. I need a Fiat, but I need it to be in Italy, driving the streets of Italy because it's just
You could use it to
perfection.
local errands, though. That's what I mean. For me, that's more or less what it is. Like if we want to go on a family trip, we have a Jeep. believe it or not, here, and a Jeep, which is like a guy car. Like I was kind of excited about it when I saw it, but like when I sit in it now as a passenger, it's really boxy and wide. It's like a GI Joe car, and I'm like not interested
Uh-huh.
whatsoever. You know?
But the Fiat is beautiful. And to drive, there's no better place to drive than in Italy. Everybody there seems to understand the rules. You
Yeah.
just, you stay in the right lane and then you pass on the left and you go as fast as you need to go, but nobody will get in your way. I love it. I think it's perfect. But New York, so wait, so who are your friends? Let me ask you this. I remember last time, one of the times I think we were talking right before COVID about doing a live show. Do you remember this at the
Yes, yes,
Friars
yes.
Club?
At the yes.
So we were getting ready to do that. Of course, I had to cancel all my shows, and I had only done 2 live shows before. One of them was with Michael Imperioli, and I think,
Oh,
didn't you
my
tell me,
friend.
oh, tell Michael I said hi?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that, of course, went up in smoke, but, eventually I'm starting to plan them again, so hopefully I'll get
Okay.
back to that soon enough. But so you still have a lot of friends, though, in New York. Are you still in touch with them a little bit, or?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I have WhatsApp and I have Telegram. So we're able to talk on the phone. We're able to FaceTime on the phone, and it's free.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, I talk to my friends every single day. One of them or the other one. I need that. I need to kind of like feel like I have a connection still. Plus, my daughter's in New York, and I like to keep all my relationships like healthy. And all my friends have kids, and I still am acting. Obviously in New
Yeah.
York, so I'm constantly trying to like figure out, do business, take meetings. If I mean, God knows I'll probably end up getting another job and going back to New York, but I also have an agent in London, so I'm trying to spread my roots here in Europe because
Oh,
there's a lot of
nice.
work here, and I really
Is
enjoy.
there?
Yeah, there's a lot of work here, and it's just a different tone, a different energy working here. You don't, it's very different. You don't make as much money, but the quality and the content of the material I feel is maybe better.
I
Um,
will second you on that.
yeah, and then people are shooting here a lot.
Yeah, it's true though. I think a lot of to me, and I've talked about this with a lot of people as well. Like I feel like people who really like quality in their TV and movies, I really do feel like a lot of it is foreign, like it's European or from other places. And it's not, I don't know why that is, but there are so many even TV series that I'll watch. Like, did I tell you about Borgen? Have you ever seen that? That is so good. That
Oh,
is, it's from Denmark, but
okay.
I don't know what it is. Is it the characters, the people? Are they more real? Is it the way it looks? Is it the storylines? I don't know what it is, but there's something about what's made often in Europe that
Well,
feels better.
I think it's sort of like a lot of times American companies end up trying to be somewhat formulaic.
Yeah.
Um, and they go with a trend, or they have a studio executive that wants to dumb it down quite often. And you're like, you're a fucking suit. Like, what do you know about this emotion? Or why would you even say that? Like, why are you even giving me your fucking opinion about, I mean, not that it's my place, but I've produced some TV for my cooking channel stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you know about A, food, Tuscany, me? Like, it was really frustrating on how, sometimes the big corps try to control everything, and, they just don't hire me then if you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
be authentic. I
That's
don't want,
right.
I'm not Paula Dean. I'm not going to be flipping hamburgers, serving whatever. Like, we were doing something specific at the time, which was Tuscan food. And we had success with what we were doing. So I felt like, why would you try to fix what's not broken? Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, no, I think the quality is here. They also are more accepting of their age. I think that women also have a better ride in Europe in terms of aging on camera, and they don't like frozen faces. They don't like, when nothing's moving. And they like character. They like telling real stories. They have an appreciation for the elderly. And
Hmm.
when I say elderly, I mean like elderly, not me. Um, but
Well,
you know
you
what I
say
mean?
elderly, right? That means
Yeah,
elderly.
yeah. And and I think that it's not, it's hard to say because obviously every culture loves a sexy woman. Don't get me wrong. But there's different types of sexiness. It's not just like, okay, let's put her in like a spandex dress with like her boobs out and a pair of Louboutins. Like I just feel like there's, the way that the sexuality is expressed in European films is more raw. And I just like I just like reading all the material. I mean, there's great stuff coming out of London. Um, and the other good thing too is that they don't. A lot of times they don't do this thing where like you're committed for 7 years. Like they do like a
Right.
limited run. Like you're in it for a year, and it's great. Like you're doing it for a year, it's done, and you move on. It's not like, okay, oh my God, this could go on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about younger real quick. So you filmed that during COVID, but it looks totally no. I already saw like most of it. I got press
Oh,
access to
you
it.
did great.
I'm glad that they didn't integrate or incorporate COVID into the storyline at all. By now, everybody's really sick and tired of it, I feel like. So who even needs to see that on screen? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Darren Star. There's actually a nice article that came out in the New York Times, I think, where it was the first time that I read about the fact that he didn't want that. He was absolutely, like not
Darren
into.
Star.
Yeah, like, and we were like, but we don't want to be in a room with 100 extras. He goes, well, I'm going to make it a safe environment, and we're going to figure it out this way. You're not at risk, and it was such an expensive testing situation. I mean, they would have to like triple test extras. So they would have like, the PCR and then like two rapid follow-ups before they could even walk on set. And we learned as we went, but I mean, between the shield and the mask, and imagine wearing red lipstick, and you're constantly taking the mask on and off and on and off. It was like smearing nightmare, like having your hair done, and then putting your mask behind your ears, and then for me with the ponytails, it was a nightmare. I ended up going, you know what? I'm not going to wear red lipstick, and I'm not even going to like do my hair. I'm just going to wear a ponytail the entire season because we were switching back and forth. We would shoot 4 episodes at once. So we did
Oh, that's
three
weird.
blocks, and we had 3 different directors, and we would just jump from like episode 1 to episode 4, back to episode 3, back into 4, like at a different time of the day, and it was just like continuity nightmare. I
That's so
actually
weird.
for trivia, I got a staph infection from a cartilage piercing. I had gotten like one of those, I forget what it's called. It's the inside of your ear. And I got like I wanted a little diamond because my daughter had it, and I thought, oh, that looks so cool. And I already had like earrings up here from like the 80s, and I was like, I wouldn't mind that thing inside. It got so infected, and the doctor told me I had to go to an infectious disease specialist. Like me, fucking lucky, excuse my language. Like I must have like put my mask on, and my hand must have had something that I didn't wash my hands, and it went into my blood, and it went, and so I got a staph infection. It took me 1 month. So in that month, I was actually contact traced. I was around somebody that tested positive, so I was sent home for 2 weeks. Thank God, because my ear was 4 times the size. I was on steroids and 4 different
Oh
antibiotics.
my God.
It was crazy, and I bring it up just because, like, in switching back and forth with all the scenes, like 1 minute I'm wearing earrings, the next minute I have no earrings. The day after that, I couldn't wear earrings for like a long time.
I will
So
have to check that out the last few episodes. I did not notice that at
yeah,
all.
yeah, there's like one episode where I think I'm teaching at a college or something, and like you'll see earrings and then you see no earrings. And I'm like,
Okay.
or like, like there's another moment of where like we forgot to wear our coats or something. Just because like it was said certain people weren't allowed on set, and it just, and some people couldn't come near us. So a lot of things fell through the cracks, but I know that we did a really good job, and I saw some of this stuff. I did looping. Looping is just fixing some vocal stuff, and I haven't
Right, that's
seen.
after you film it, right? It's
Yeah,
later. Yeah.
yeah. And so I saw some stuff. It looks really good. I haven't watched any of the episodes yet.
Well, I have, so I can tell you it does look good. And I didn't notice those continuity issues, but I will now, I think, for the few episodes that I have yet to see. But I think they did a nice job. And I feel like the beginning of the first few episodes, it was like you guys were trying to find your groove or something. I don't mean the actors, but I think that they were, I think maybe Darren was trying to figure out, like, well, how do we, what are our storylines or something. So maybe it
Yeah,
took a few episodes to really get into that place where you felt like it was back again, like the show is back, what you
okay.
remember.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
also think that I feel like I like to see your storylines this season because I feel like your role kind of got meatier in over time, don't you think? Or no?
I never think about it because I never cared. I've
Okay.
wanted to be part of an ensemble. I never. I take certain roles because, um, first of all, this role was different for me. Like when I first took it, it was like to play the lesbian friend. I thought, oh great, I don't have to wear lashes. I can dress butch. It'll be very different for me.
Not.
Darren wanted me with lipstick, heels, and the whole thing. But what's nice is that this season in particular, I was getting kind of bored. I'm like, can you get me out of this kitchen? Can you get me away from holding a glass of wine and listening, mulling about of Liza Miller's problems?
That's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's not that it was a small part. It was sort of like they weren't giving you something other than that. So at the
You know what
beginning,
it
but they
is?
did.
Yeah, this they did, and they have here and there give me good stuff. I mean, I am like,
Yeah.
I do drama, I do comedy, and I'm a great physical actress and a physical comedian. And when they give me that stuff, it rocks because like I nail it. And I this season they got me out. I was barely in the loft. In fact, we shot almost all of my loft scenes like the last week, and I didn't have that many. It was thank God because we lost our stage because we were because of COVID and the shutdown, we had to push the production from filming in March to filming in the following September. Yes, no, October we started, and we lost our stage. We had always been at oh God, what's the name of the stage that we were at? The one in Astoria, uh,
Kaufman?
huh?
Kaufman? No.
Kaufman,
Yeah. Right?
Kauf.
Kaufman or Silver Cup? There's Silver Cup and
It's Silver Cup. Kaufman's the nice one.
yeah.
Silver Cup is kind of beat down, but it's Silver Cup. So we were at
Okay.
Silver, which is great. Long Island City, convenient, whatever. Um, our new stages were in East New York, borderline Queens, in an industrial area. So it was like
Oh,
going to.
is that no, I don't know that one. Where's the one where they filmed like Brooklyn stages or something? That's not that. In
Oh no,
like Gowanus or something?
no, no,
No.
no, no, no. This is East New York. It's the armpit of Brooklyn. It's the
Okay.
borderline of Queens. It's way out, and it's also like a really bad area. East New York's a tough area. It's gone through a lot. There's a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, and this is in an industrial part. So going through East New York at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh my God, like this is a little sketchy. Um, I mean, not that it bothers me, but I was like, you don't walk around East New York at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no food to be had at 3 o'clock in the morning in East New York. It's very like you feel like you're someplace else altogether. So anyway, I got out of the kitchen. I got to do a lot of stuff. Darren Star wrote me. I asked him for 6 seasons, and finally in the seventh season, he gave me as a gift a scene in the subway.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've
Station.
sthat yet.
It's an
Oh, good.
abandoned station, and it's great. I won't tell you anything more about it, but I finally got my subway scene, so that was great, and it's just bittersweet because it's over. Like we hit Hillary Duff's belly. Excuse me. We hit her belly
Yeah, I
forever,
see it. I did see it.
like popcorn bowls or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was a trooper. I mean, that girl literally like never complained. Sat there with her stomach and came to work. And it was a very different season this season, as you know, because some people didn't come to work. But
Right. Wait, why isn't Miriam Shore there this season? What was that
I,
about?
I don't know really what it's about. That wasn't really it was one of those things where we really never knew what was going on there. I mean, it had something to do with the COVID situation. I think fear and whatever, but yeah, it's
Oh,
nothing. We missed her. I mean, there's no replacing Miriam Shore.
right.
Um, so, but it was a different season. You know what I mean for us. But my stuff doesn't take place in the office. So I just missed it. I missed the table reads. I missed the camaraderie of like being around each other on the set. A lot of
Yeah.
times they would keep us as much apart as possible. Um, so it was a very strange experience shooting during COVID, but
That
we
is
got
weird.
it. We got it done, and it's all tied up.
So, right. So tell me, so did you get to hang out with them at all? Like, did you get to hang out with Peter at all? Peter was
Nope.
just never. Peter
I've
was,
never hung out with Peter. I mean, I'm friendly with Peter. I like Peter and Mariska. We have a few similar friends. We always miss each other at a party or whatever. But I don't hang out with anybody from work. I never did.
yeah.
Not that I don't want to. Like like I've had dinner with Miriam. I saw her in Portugal. I've invited Sutton. I've invited a bunch of them to my husband's restaurant at the time, but like just never made it. I've had lunches and with different of cast members during filming. Like we'll go out like we're for shooting in Williamsburg. Like, let's go to lunch. Like we have like 40 minutes. Let's go like hit a restaurant. But everybody has kids. Everybody's busy with their significant other or their children, and for the when back in the pre-COVID, I mean, like I want to see my friends.
Of
You know,
course, of course. But now you didn't even get to hang out with them on the set, really, which you would
well,
normally be able to do
yeah,
somewhere.
no. And the thing that sucked is that we were really each other's pod. I mean, we actually tried to hang out. Like there were moments where I'm like, "Oh my God, you're not vaccinated. You're tested. I'm tested. We're at the same job. We're not going out and seeing other people. Let's get together." And pretty for the most part, it just didn't happen because of it was an intense winter this year. Like we had more snow than we've had in like 20 years.
Yeah, I know
And
about that.
yeah, so like it was like this really intense winter. And then like as the holidays were approaching, my daughter was also coming to stay with me, and I had to have a very, very small pod window. Like I had a few people that used to come over, but then people stopped getting tested as much. I don't know why. They were getting tested a lot because of the holidays. And then all of a sudden people stopped getting tested because they weren't flying to see grandma or whatever they
Hmm.
were doing. I'm like, when was the last time you were tested? Oh, I got tested like last month. I'm like, well, you know what? I can't be with you because I need to earn a living. And if I bring, COVID to work, then because I have no antibodies left, my antibodies like were gone by August. So, I just wanted to complete my job because if one person gives contact trace, then like it shuts production down basically. And
Totally.
hundreds of people like, don't go to work.
I know. I was talking to my friend Yul Vasquez, who was taping something in New York,
Uh-huh.
and they were taping something. I think it was for Apple TV, and right, I think it was the hairstylist tested positive. So because she had contact with basically everybody it had shut down for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's big. So all right, look, characters. Let's discuss the younger characters. So I know you're in it, so it's a little different, but there are gonna be people who are tuning in today and they were big fans of Younger. So let's discuss the characters and the plot lines. So
Okay.
let's discuss Team Charles, Team Josh, whatever. Liza, what do you like? Have you been pulling for somebody all along or what?
Well, Maggie has never met Charles.
Wait, Maggie
This
met Charles this season.
this season, yeah. So
Wait, is that
my
the first time? What?
so I met him at the wedding of last season. At the end, I meet Charles at the end. Wait, does he come over? He might have come over in the end of season 6. I can't really remember. That was the first time I met him, and I also met him at the wedding of Diana Trout.
Okay.
So I've never been Team Charles because the way that I think Maggie feels about Liza Miller, is her best friend, is that like sleep with whoever you want. Like you're not married. Have fun. Like why do you need to like choose? And if it's bothering you that you need to make a choice, then the only one I knew is Josh, and Maggie and Josh have a close relationship. So I've always been Team Josh, but I've always thought to Liza, like, if you're, Charles is complicated. He's older. He's sophisticated. He's got, the agency. It's her boss. He's married, or he was married. He goes through a lot in season 6 to become available for Liza. So, it's a complicated thing. And, she's the one that's torn. I mean, I think that Charles was very clear at the end of season 6 that what his intentions were. And I think that she's just been through it and now she just doesn't want to be married. So season 7, is interesting because it deals with that.
Okay, so
Oh,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
definitely Team Josh, no doubt.
Of course. I really never even thought about it that way because, of course, yeah, you were, oh, as Maggie, you're always together. By the way, is that Janine Garofalo? Is that Janine
Yes,
Garofalo? That is, right?
it's Janine Garofalo.
That's so
She's on the
funny.
show this year.
Right, right. So she comes in probably one of the first episodes. So that's interesting too.
I couldn't even tell you when she
Yeah,
comes in.
yeah, yeah.
It's more down the road.
Another character is the clothes. So we talked about them a little bit, but
I'm wearing actually a sweater that was Maggie's. It's kind of like this Japanesey, wonderful Givenchy sweater. I was like, I need that sweater in my life. It's got like kimono arms.
I see.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a really
So
nice.
they let you keep some of the wardrobe or what?
I took a couple things. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
let's
It
look
was
at your
really good.
hair too. I'm living for your hair right now. Turn to the side so everybody can see it. It looks so good. So
Oh,
you
it's
did
just a
this yourself.
ponytail. It's just a
What?
ponytail.
Yeah, but it's
It's
not
just
just a
a
ponytail.
ponytail, and then I took the top and I just like twisted it a little bit and stuck a pin in there.
Okay, but that's fine. It sounds so simple, but not everybody can do it just like that. Like just a ponytail to me is I'm just throwing my hair up in a ponytail holder and like wrapping it around a bunch of times. It doesn't look like it's ready for camera.
Well, I'm always ready for camera. That's what I do. So, and I learned how to do it early. I also learned how to do hair before I learned how to act. So, I mean, I went to beauty school.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't learn how to do hair in beauty school, actually. I learned how to smoke tons of pot and turn a doll head out. I mean, that's what I did. I did the state board set and painted my mannequin, and we would smoke tons of weed in Bryant Park at 42nd Street, and then walk down to 37th Street, which was where my school was, between 5th and 6th Avenue. It was the garment center back in the day. And, we thought we were badasses. And, we would just do the dolls. So, but having been on photo shoots for years and movie sets and whatever, you pick stuff up. And I just learned how to do decent hair.
Yeah. You do have fun with it too, though. I think that you like it, you're interested in it, so that definitely helps, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, like I have a wig stand. I have all these tools. I'm not good at doing color. In fact, like my gray is coming in right now. And I'm a natural, like my hair is naturally light brown. So between my hair being gray and light brown, I look like a calico cat mess. And there's nothing I can do about it. I refuse to do my own color because I might get it in the front, but then I get like patches in the back that don't get colored. So if the wind blows, I look like one of those ladies you see on the bus who like didn't get her color right. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah, girl, you need to go to the hairdresser.
yeah,
And that would be me. And we're in lockdown now, so I kind of have to roll with it. And
I
it's
get it.
yeah, no, like when I did the first lockdown in March 2020, I didn't go to the colorist for 5 months. And I let my gray come in and it looked really good at first. I got some like salt and pepper type of like hair pieces to like incorporate into my life. And then like I would wake up in the morning when it wasn't done and it was really dishwater. I thought it was gonna be like white like my grandma. It wasn't, or it isn't yet. So I was like, oh, this is kind of not happening.
Yeah, I
Like I was
remember
putting
you.
a lot of makeup and stuff, and I was like,
Yeah. I think last time I was with you, you said that you were thinking about just trying out going gray. And
Yeah.
I remember you said that, like, I might just do, I think it could look good, but I guess you never did until you had to.
Right. No, I had to, and because I mean, my hair grows fast, and like it's like someone shining the brights at your scalp the minute
Uh-huh.
like with the contrast. You know what I mean? And I tried, and I just was like, you know what? No, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready yet.
Right, right.
I like the contrast. It helps my skin look better right now. So it's. I mean, again, don't fix what's not broken. I'm not. It's not broken yet. So.
Yeah.
It is a
So,
little broken now because I do need to go to the colorist, but I have to wait until the lockdown's over.
so you have people in Italy for that, or you're
Yeah.
gonna? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
like I'm not in like Uzbekistan.
right.
No, I'm in Italy.
They know how
Italy's
to do style there.
I swear.
Of course. So, can we talk about Goodfellas a second? I don't think we've ever talked about this before. Or maybe we did. I don't know. But when I was talking about Michael before, I remembered that's probably how you guys know each other, right? From Goodfellas, which was like 80 years ago, I know.
Yeah, no, that is where Michael and I met. We met on Goodfellas, and then we both also did. I think he was in Jungle Fever with me. We've done a couple movies together, but yeah, I
Okay.
believe Goodfellas is where we first met.
Did you know that Lorraine Bracco did a show where she bought with HGTV? This is very recent. Where
Oh
she
yes, I know.
bought,
I know.
you
She's
know
my
that?
friend.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well, there
I
we
saw
go.
the article years ago. They were selling houses for $1 or ten
They
dollars.
still are. They still, like 6 months ago, there was another thing about it with another town that was doing it. And I remember I was talking about it on my show. Like, I really feel like I have to look into this, like, see if this is really a
Well,
thing.
here's the problem: is that a lot of those homes can be reclaimed uh, and by the ancestors, and so yeah, go fix it up, and they're going to come back around and be like, "No, sorry, that's my house." So there's a little bit of it's a lot of legality and paperwork that needs to go into it, and it's a great concept. It's a great idea to go do it. I mean, what was nice is that I think that she had a show
She did.
that and the show would be like, it's not that easy to turn out an ancient, messed up house. It takes time. It's Italy. It's expensive. You have in all of those places. You have to redo the plumbing, redo the
Mhm.
heating, redo everything from soup to nuts. And in Italy, things go really slow. And I can tell you that out of experience because I know it's not like America. Like I'm very American, so I'm like I'll say to my husband like, can we get like, the guy in to hang the stuff on the wall, and I want to switch out the lights, and I want to, put up some shelves here, and I want to, redo the floor, da da da. And he's like, well, in order to do this, first this has to be done, and then like, the guy, he leaves, he goes to lunch, he goes home to take a siesta, then he comes back, and we ordered the part, but it's coming from Calabria, and the guy isn't in the office for the week, but we'll get it to you. It's just everything is slow, and you just have to kind of go
Right.
with it. The work takes forever, but it's exceptional. That's the thing. The system is slow, but it works smoothly. Like the healthcare system, I mean, everything is just different, but it works.
So are you
So
part of the healthcare system there too then? Do you get to use their stuff?
yeah,
Their
I'm an Italian citizen. I've been an Italian
right.
citizen for 20 years. So I have, what my call like my number, which is kind of like your social security. It's called codice fiscale. Then you have to have your health papers. You have to have, your bank account in order to get a telephone. You can't open a bet. There's so much like paperwork and bureaucracy,
Ah.
taxes and papers, and they have to write receipts out with your tax documentation number on it whenever you like. I bought a subscription for $10 to a newspaper that's in English, and like you have to give it a tax number to, because they have to write out a receipt. Like everything is very by the books here. um so but it works. It's great. It's just different.
I think it's great what you did. I think it's amazing. You were like, this is the time. You took advantage of the timing, everything that was going on in life. Everything's still here for you. You'll come back for them as needed, but you get
Yeah.
to have a different experience now. I'm totally envious. I would totally do that if I had the opportunity to do it. I think it's amazing. To
Well,
your
there's
Italian
also
with
an
everybody.
art scene here. There's a fashion scene here. I mean, once things open back up, like there's Palazzo Pitti. There's the Week of Fashion. There, my friends from Paris and London and France and in the United States come here for those type of things. I have friends that are designers. They work for designers. They come here to buy fabric. Everybody comes to Tuscany who does come here. If they pass through Florence and see some art and churches and whatnot. Um, and I know how to get to Siena. So like when I have friends come visit, I like get in my car or we'll take the train to either go to Rome or go to Siena and just go for the day for lunch, walking around, discovering old ancient towns or wherever. Um, I mean, I look forward to kind of being, maybe I'll be a tour guide when it all is said and done. I'm just having so much fun with the idea that I'm going to have visitors come here and come visit me. And then I get to show them my Florence. You know,
Yeah, you could start a whole company doing that if you wanted
I
to. If you
kind of could. I kind of could, but there's a lot of competition out there,
Yeah, but
and
you're differentiated. You are somebody different who has a name for herself already.
that's true. But I also like want to do what I do best, and that's being an actress. Like I'm not trying to be a director. I'm not trying to be whatever. I know what I do well. It's just hard because I'm not going to be doing much of that in Italy. And so my job will take me away from my family, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, I mean, my husband and I, like, reuniting was fantastic. I'll tell you, like being away for 5 months, I felt very appreciated. And so did he. I mean, we truly like, it was so hard for us because we're like, frickin' frack. We're a little bit joined at the hip. So it's good for us. And I like it. I like having that kind of independence and coming home and sharing stories. I think it's good for a relationship.
Right. That was a big time to be away from each other. And I remember that he would come in and out and be doing this and that, but you guys would both be in terms of a day, right? Like he would
Yeah.
be going to the restaurant or something and then he'd come back in and he'd be checking his
Yeah.
bread to see how that was doing.
Really remember the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
you
it's
guys,
harder for me parting with my children.
okay, total change of direction. If you could have two celebrities be your parents, who would you choose?
Oh my God. Alberto Sordi and let's see, Lucille Ball.
Okay, what's your weirdest habit?
My weirdest habit. Huh. Um, I have bad habits, good habits. My weirdest habit.
How about your best habit and your worst habit?
Okay, my best is self-care. I take good care of myself. My worst is cigarettes, I suppose. Trying to cut that out right now. I haven't had one today. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brava.
Habits, weird habits. I don't know. I mean, let's see. Like I might like pluck a hair out of my face, out of my chin, but that's not a habit necessarily. That's a necessity. Uh, um,
I
yeah.
think you're good. You're good. You're good. Moving on.
Okay.
All right. What's one gig that got away?
Well, I don't know that I would have gotten it after they saw. Um, I'm gonna brain fart. The Sopranos. I didn't go in for the role of Carmela. I was like, you know what? I don't need another mafia role. And I didn't know how good the series was going to be. And there's no one that could have played that character better than Edie Falco. So, but that was one thing that went away. Oh, I was cast in a better role in the Doors with Oliver Stone directing. But long story short, turned. I said I wasn't available because I had promised Madonna that I would do her makeup for her tour, And I didn't know that I was going to be booking a movie because I just kind of had started, done a few things, a few movies and stuff, but like I thought I would have the 3 months available. And then she was like, "Oh, you promised me, and I'm a person of my word." And I asked the casting person if they could move the date. They said no, and I felt guilty, so I pulled out of the movie. And then Madonna hired somebody else. And I was like, "What? Wait, what?" I just gave up a role in the movie, and I ended up getting a smaller role that ended up on the cutting room floor, instead of playing the role. And actually, the actress who played it was older than me. I can't remember her name. It was one of Jim Morrison's lovers, and she was perfect for the role. I actually was too young, but I had booked the part, and and I didn't speak to Madonna for like a year. I was really mad at her, but we made up, and life went on. And I sort of believe that things happen for reasons, you know. But that was a role that went away in the doors.
If there was a biopic about you, a movie about your life, who would you like to play you?
I don't know. There will not be a movie about. Well, actually, there might be if I ever sit down to write the book. And it would start early, and I don't know 15-year-old actors. I don't watch, a lot of young movies in terms of like, movies with young people. Uh, so I don't know. I can't say like Scarlett Johansson,
Okay.
I mean, sure, she looks a little bit like me, or I look a little bit like her. I mean, I look like her older sister, maybe, but I would just look for someone that had edge and that was raw. There's no name I could give you.
Right, right. I never thought about that, right? Because you left home when you were 15, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
like it would span from 15 until I guess whenever is interesting within the story of telling
Uh-huh.
a story for 2 hours. And the story wouldn't probably go into my older life, so it might be more focused on the 80s. And I would have to find young talent that I don't know. I don't really know somebody in their early 20s. I mean, there's lots of great actresses out
Okay.
there. It's just that I couldn't tell you one right off the bat.
Okay. So who is somebody who you worked with who you just hit it off with right away and became like fast friends and you just knew this person, there's something about this person and me, it feels like total natural friendship. Or did that ever happen with anybody?
Sure. I mean, I have gosh, I'm trying to think of like Michael Imperioli's one of them. I mean, I worked with him on Goodfellas. We've been in touch and been friendly for years. Girl wise, um, I mean, Drina De Niro, Rosie Perez, tons of different. Catherine Narducci, who's um, been working a lot lately. In New York's a small place, even though it's a big metropolis, and but the scene's rather small. And I'm an actress that actually, I mean, I'm not competitive really. So even in Los Angeles, I mean, Jean Triplehorn, I get along with everybody. Gina Gershon, Marissa Tomei. I mean, these are all contemporaries of mine. We all go up for the same roles, and we all like hit it off and see each other here and there, have meals, uh, and in New York, it feels a little more organic because you can just jump in a cab and go, "Oh, I'll meet you at such and such restaurant." Whereas in LA, you have to make a plan, go to someone's house. Um, but I'm actually friends with a lot of male and female actors and actresses and directors. I mean, to me, they're just people. They're just people with a job. I have dinner with my plumber, my cleaning people. Like I just like to be social. So and actually, the idea of having new friendships over 40, finding a new best friend as you get older is complex. People come with baggage and whatnot, or knowledge, which is fantastic. I'm finding that I'm meeting so many great people in my later life. I'm trading numbers with people. I'm emailing people. I have dinners and drinks with people. From directors to parents of my, of my children. I'm best friends with my younger daughter's best friend's mother. It happened. I met her at a ballet class and we just vibed and it was natural. I just stayed in her house for 5 months. I appreciate, those moments of where it's natural and I'm a person who likes a lot of people. So it's not like I have a very small world. My world is pretty big in terms of my friends, even though I'm a loner to a degree. So yeah, I just really love meeting new people. Older, because I never thought I'd have new friends again. I've had friends that have died of AIDS in the 80s and 90s, and you think like, oh my God, and then like I'm so full of great people that I love. I feel really blessed, to be honest with you.
I think that's great. And by the way, I totally hear what you're saying, that it is harder, I think, overall to make close friends as you get older because sometimes your circles get smaller. But I find that I'm seeing more and connecting more with really great people recently as I'm getting older. And I don't know if that's a change in mindset or an appreciation of different people. I'm not sure what it's
I
about. I
think
was
it's
talking to,
all of the above. I think it's
yeah,
all the.
yeah.
He's like, you also get interested in different things as you grow, and you meet people in different fields. And I sit down with people from being, into like whatever, whether it's art or architecture or medical or electronics or tech or whatever. And I just, people, we all have a common love of good food, of laughter, of imbibing on good alcohol or marijuana or literature or sobriety or whatever your bag is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's just people out there, and I'm a people person. I'm also a people connector. Like I like to introduce people and I like to host people. So yeah, my life is never lack of void of any of that kind of stuff. My trust level in friends, on the other hand, I'm very careful because I'm private. I'm not too private. I'll tell you anything you want to know for the most part. But when it comes to like, really like my personal private little bubble, there's just stuff that I only share with certain friends. And that's, I think, a good thing.
You get
I've
better
got a
at.
lot of negative people out actually during this pandemic. Has kind of woken me up to, I'm just like, you know what? It's just not necessary to have certain friendships in my life anymore. They consume my energy. They don't give me back anything. They exhausted me. So I made some changes, and it's hard to make those changes, but eventually, like, I just feel lighter, and surrounding myself with people that like that care about me, that are like lovely, good energy. That's what I want around me right now, not people that exhaust me and drain me. So that's been a nice thing, that coming out of a pandemic, like, I'm not going back to the way it was. Nothing's going to be the same, really. And it changed me in a very profound way. So I like this new feeling, you know.
So what'd you think? Drop a comment below. I'd love to know what you think of our talk, something we talked about, what you love about Debbie, anything. Drop a comment. I really do read them. And make sure you're subscribed for more real talks with your favorite celebrities. Tap that notifications bell so you're notified every time there's a new video, which is about once or twice a week. I'm Kara. This is Really Famous. Thanks for watching.